doing? How are we doing over here in YouTube world? How are we doing over here in the old Instagram world? We are getting ourselves, oh, poor connection today. Oh, we got some poor connection. All right, let me turn it off the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. It's like my Wi-Fi is great until I start doing these live streams. That's how it always is. So I gotta talk to them about my live stream. So how's everybody doing on today's Friday, on our little Food Friday specialty? How's everybody doing today? And so I did find we do have we're doing healthy salad dressings, and I want to share some of my favorite salad dressings. And people are like, Nick, salad dressing, what the hell? But this one is a very specific. It's a turmeric and sunflower seed vinaigrette. So I think you guys will really like this. But, you know, what are you going to do? Let's kick it. I love it. I love it. But essentially, what do we need for this? And why the hell do we have to do salad dressings anyways? Well, first things first is I know a bunch of you end up using salads because I see it on your tracker, and you douse it with a whole bunch of ranch, or you'll douse it with a whole bunch of other ingredients that maybe we aren't too kind of, and it ends up adding way more calories than we actually need to. I never even plugged my mic in, so wow. All right, we're going micless today. It's been a week. I tell you that, people. It has been one of these weeks. I don't know if it's just the summertime or if things are just starting to change, but it's been a week. Food, I'm trying to get 20 on this Friday. Denise, I love that. Trying to get at least 20 grams of protein in on this Friday. Did you do it in the morning? Did you do your protein in on the morning? And if you haven't seen, I just posted a video. It's the third video in the yoga block series. So if we need to get our glutes in order, we need to get our glutes shaped up. Well, guess what? We have a nice banded workout for you. But I could talk about this shit all day long, right? So let's get ourselves together and let me show you what we have. Let me bring it down to speed. Let me bring you over here. So I want to show you, I wouldn't say it's very simple, but I do have my recipe book of all of my recipes. And yes, and lunch. Okay, I like that. So let's get into, and there's actually, I forgot. I wanted to tell you about this. Now, does anybody like cashews? Denise, do you like cashews? I have, when I was looking through my recipe book, I wanted to show you about this roasted cashew recipe. I know it's backwards, but I will send it to you if you want it. I should have had my automation already had up, but again, like I told you, it's one of those days. But essentially, if you like roasted cashews with a little bit of spice, this is going to go really good with this salad, because I'm actually going to make the salad live on stream. We're going to get to go. Where are you coming from? Hello, brother. Where are you from? We're from Pittsburgh. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. So we appreciate that. So essentially, let's get it going. First things first is I want to get the cashews going because I know it's going to take a little bit. So cashews, we know I'm just using Planters peanuts, right? Nothing too crazy, but again, watching out is that these are high in fats, but again, they are the good fats, right? These are the good fats that we want. These are the good things that we want to add into our diet. So we're using cashews. So essentially, let me just explain the recipe. So we got 2 cups of cashews. We have a half a teaspoon of chili flakes that I should have had somewhere. Some paprika. I usually used honey, like regular honey, but I'm actually going to use this hot chili infused honey, and use that as well. So we're going to use that, and we're going to use a little bit of lime zest to kind of cool it all down. So this is actually a really good snack. It's actually going to be something that's going to be something that you can eat kind of like by itself and put it on as a topper for your salad. So other than that, let's get it going. So I need a bowl, right? So I like to start, make sure you have all your ingredients already prepped up, ready to rock and roll. Let me change you up over here so I can give you more of my Martha Stewart look, right? There we go. We got more of the Martha Stewart look over here. Ain't gonna see too much of my smiling face, but we want to see what's going on in the bowl anyway. So I want 2 cups of these cashews, and we're about to find out how much 2 cups actually is. So if I got my little Cuisinart thing right here, that we are, this is actually the whole container. So 2 cups of cashews is Oh, that ain't even it. Damn near the whole container. If you look at that. Almost the whole container. So, right, we're just going to add those right to the bowl like it's nothing. And we're going to use, now again, I measure with my heart when it comes down to seasonings. So if you're looking for a specific measurement, I don't know, but I'm sprinkling in a little bit of these chili flakes. I'm throwing about a pinch of my paprika, and let me know in the chat. Are you somebody who measures their spices with the heart, or do you have to actually measure it to the teaspoon, to the half a teaspoon? I don't have time for that. So I'm using a little bit of paprika. And again, right, I've been a chef for many years, and I kind of have my eye game kind of down almost perfect. So if you don't, again, I always say, well, somebody actually mentioned it, is you measure with your heart. So measure with your heart, everybody. So now that we have that all we do right now is paprika, chili flakes, and now I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of that hot honey. And the reason you want to add the hot honey is because it's going to, the heart of life, too short to measure, right, Denise? Tell me about it. So, has a different smell to it. I haven't used this before. It's really thick. Okay, so I might actually have to use something. Actually, when's the last time you seen one of these? Who uses this for their honey? Now, let's be real. An actual honey stick. Can you get it in there? See if I can break it. And of course, since it is thick, it doesn't want to work as I'm on stream. But there we go. 2 tablespoons. And this is what's actually going to give it that extra glaze, right? I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. Look at that. That's perfect. And so, YouTube, you can check that out. Look at that, right? Honey with a little bit of chili. Not my favorite taste. Not the best tasting. Wow, it's a little spicy too. Holy shit. All right, well, watch how much of that you're putting into your roasted cashews, right? But that's also why we use lime. So we're going to tone down some of that heat with a lime. And just like anything, right, if you're using a lime or a lemon, making sure that you rinse this off and use the zest, right? The zest is where you're going to find a lot of the, I wouldn't say necessarily the nutrients, because yes, but a lot of the flavor. If you're ever just using the lime to just to squeeze it, just to get the juice, you're missing out on a lot of different spices or a lot of different flavors that you can actually use. Now, what the hell? Of course, the one thing that I don't have readily available. Let's see, did my girlfriend put it in here? Cat, you better watch out. Interesting. Yep. Of course. Tell her, don't put these in the dishwasher because they actually flatten out. Where do I find it? In the dishwasher. Yeah, and then it just dulls out the blade. So that's why you don't do that. It's always hand wash. So then it becomes like really just juice right there. But you're going to do a little bit of zest into the cashews. So right now we have chili flakes. We have paprika. We have a hot honey, which you don't necessarily need the hot honey, right? You can add just regular honey to these roasted cashews. And so essentially, since this is dull, I am barely getting any zest, so it is going to be it's a pathetic zesting right now. So, oh wow. But I do want to use some of the juice. So for some of the juice, really making sure that you could see that, you know, we got some color over here. So I'm looking for basically a tablespoon. Now for me, I cut off like a little piece. I don't know about you when you do your limes, but I cut off a little bit of a piece and really just kind of squeeze that in there. Squeeze all of the lime juice in there. And then we're going to add just a little, what do you say, a dollop of olive oil to kind of, nothing too crazy. You don't want to get it too crazy. And then we're going to add a little bit of pepper. And you know, I am lazy because I use these automatic ones. And let me know, man. You know, just like Denise said, right? Life's too short to be sitting there squeezing and doing all that crazy stuff. So now that we have, basically that's the seasoning. So let me just show you, right? That's what the cashews look like. We're just looking for a nice little spice, looking for this, right? Because then now we can kind of toss these together, making sure you're scraping up. And the honey, the olive oil. The olive oil is going to help it from not burning as much, or at all, really. And if you have your oven at 350, hopefully it won't actually burn at all. So the olive oil, the honey, the salt, the pepper. Now look at it. It's just got a nice little sheen, got a nice little kind of glaze to it, as you can see. And then now, I mean, you can eat these just like this, but let's be real. We want to actually toast them. So for me, and knowing that you have some sugars on there, I always prefer that you get out the silicone baking mat. Now, I know some people, Nick, I don't like using silicone. Well, I do. I use everything silicone because I think it just makes things a lot easier. And when you use the silicone, it won't stick. So when we go ahead and actually go to toast these, we're not going to have them sticking to maybe your pan or whatnot, and it won't ruin a pan. So I always recommend, if you're somebody who cooks, if somebody who bakes, get yourself some silicone. Put it on your Christmas list. Get somebody else to buy it for you. It's a really good gift. But essentially, we're trying to spread these out a little evenly. And we're going to throw them in there for roughly 20 minutes, we'll say. And that's already at a 350 oven. No, I'm not that good where I'm actually going to put these, I'm not going to Martha Stewart it and pull it out and it's already done. Thanks again for sharing. Have a wonderful weekend. Denise, thank you for tuning in. You're always one of the rock stars, so keep tuning in. We appreciate it. Well, I appreciate it. But we're going to let that cook 20 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 10 because I want to turn all those in 10 minutes. So we got that. Now we have, let's get into, that's very simple, right? Come on now. That's a very simple thing that you can do with just regular cashews, and you still have some extra to snack on. So let's be real. You can't beat that. Just don't eat the whole damn container. Yes, they're healthy, but high in fat. Fat is fat. So we'll set that aside. I want to show you this is my dressing book. Now, has anybody ever heard of candied bacon? Candied bacon, YouTube, candied bacon, Instagram. What do we think of candied bacon? Candied bacon, I think, if I still have some bacon still left in my fridge. Aha, I do. I'm going to show you how to make. We go from salad dressings to candied bacon, but we need to make sure that we're, I don't know how we did that, but we need to make sure that we have a good topping for our salads, right? We're in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh puts fries and cheese and a whole bunch of other shit on their salads, and that's what we do. So if you're wondering why are you putting candied bacon on your damn salad, it's where we live. That's where we're at. But now that we have that, I want to show you my little recipe of the candied bacon. It's a cup of brown sugar. If I even have brown sugar anywhere. Well, I guess I can't really make it because I got my pan and my silicone mat in there. So we'll come back to that once that is done. Let's get the real reason why we're here, right? The dressings. Damn it, Nick. You sat here and tuned in. You said you were going to make dressings, but then here you are making damn roasted cashews. Told you, it's been one of those weeks. So, let's make what we came here for, right? I get a little sidetracked every once in a while. But where is my recipe? What did I do with it? Now, are you someone who likes to there we go. Are you like somebody who likes to experiment with different foods, or are you somebody who likes to
kind of already know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Me, I'm on the ladder. I need to know what the hell I'm eating. So, what we do with this one is 6.5 teaspoons. That's how I've always measured this one, is 6.5 teaspoons. And if you have one of these containers, these are always great because I always find that I can make, this was actually part of the immersion blender they came with this, but 6.5 teaspoons. People are like, why 6.5 teaspoons? Well, that's where you start to measure, right? Do you actually want to measure it? Because I'm trying to curious to find out, so I can just tell you what is the 6.5 teaspoon ratio. Let's see. So 6.5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's go 1/2. See, now that's significantly less than I would have ever put in there. Yeah. I mean, 6.5 teaspoons. I could be like, Nick, why that? That's little. I'm not trying to make a whole bunch of damn salad dressing so you throw it away. We want you to actually make it. So we have now a tablespoon. Let me get my tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Now, the thing about salad dressings that most people don't realize is the fact that it's actually very simple to make at your house. Once you actually learn that it's two things, it's a vinegar, an acid, and an oil. Those actually three things now that I think about it. Vinegar, acid, oil. So a lot of the times where you get the acid from is a fruit or a veggie, whether it be lime juice. Sometimes people like to throw lemon in there. Some people like to throw pepper. You name whatever it is, but you need some sort of zest, some sort of acid, and a vinegar. So we're using white wine vinegar here, and essentially what we're going to do with this is just a tablespoon of vinegar. So that's 1/2 tablespoon, and that's 1. And again, if you know me, I am lazy when it comes to garlic, right? Because I have to go. Enjoy the info, clients here. Have to go now. Go get them. Go get them. Get your clients doing the Lord's work. So we're throwing a little bit of garlic in there. And speaking of that, I got to go see somebody at 4 here. So hopefully I can get this under control by 4 o'clock. Let me move this for YouTube so I know you're probably seeing it like, what the hell? You're just seeing a bottle. So now that we have that, we have a little bit of garlic. And again, the salt. And here's a seasoning maybe you've never heard of. Za'atar. Say that's in 3 times fast. Za'atar seasoning. That's how I've always said it. Za'atar seasoning. Well, it's backwards for you. But yeah, essentially, za'atar seasoning is sumac, sesame seeds, thyme, and sea salt. So it's like a little blend here. So essentially what we want to do here, I've actually never used this one. Look at that. So this is a freshie we're busting open right now. So we're doing 1 teaspoon of this Za'atar seasoning. And I know I told you, Nick, I was telling you, you guys are saying, Nick, why are you measuring stuff all of a sudden? You just told me life is too short to be measuring stuff, and now you're measuring. Well, I want to show you the exact recipe of this because honestly, it's that good. And I actually, it took me some time because I used to never, I just want to show you, I used to never actually measure this recipe out. But once a client asked for it like 3 times and I realized I made it different 3 times in a row, I said, well, shit, I probably should start to write this down. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. I don't know if you see. It's kind of got this, like, see like the sumac seeds? If you smell it, I don't know if if you could see that. I know it's a little dark over there, but essentially that's the Za'atar seasoning. And you really can't make this recipe without it. And then we got this Rockstar Focus energy drink. Shout out to them. Lion's Mane Cop. They sent me over this. It's got lion's mane. So Rockstar, I never really drink Rockstar Energy. They came in and said, hey, can we send you some stuff? I said, cool, whatever. I always use the C4. I always use their competitor, but they decided to be the ones that send us stuff first. So shout out to Rockstar. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. I'm not going to say it's the worst, but yeah, whatever. It's good nonetheless. But now this is where we get serious. We add a little bit of salt. So we got the Zahar seasoning, and then we got the turmeric. So I got the Market District turmeric, and now again with turmeric, you have to be very careful that you do not get this on your clothes. This will stain. This will stain you. Luckily, that's why do you think I'm wearing yellow today? Because I know this has stained many of my clothes beforehand. So I'm using a half a teaspoon in there. And a half a teaspoon, we're gonna just kind of make sure all that stuff is out. And essentially, we're gonna start to blend that together. And you can see, wondering, Nick, what the hell is this? This is gonna be a very good dressing. So now we need 1/4 a cup of sunflowers. Sunflowers, you say? You damn right. So we need 1/4 a cup of sunflowers, and essentially what we're going to be able to do with this is it actually turns it into a kind of like a creamy dressing with a little bit. So like when we think of like fats, right? When we're thinking about good fats, we're getting a bunch of these good fats from the sunflower seeds. So I'm only using a half a cup. This is 3/4 of a cup. You're wondering, Nick, why are you throwing it all in there like that? Holy shit, aren't you crazy? Well, I do have an immersion blender, so I will be... Kitty, take over. All right, Kitty, don't jump up there and don't eat all the food. But essentially, the immersion blender is this, right? So if you've ever seen one of these, and this is actually what they sent me. Oh. So before we do that, let's just turn. All right, so let's just turn these a little bit. We're just flipping them over. Oh yeah, you could smell this. It's a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice, and you smell that lime juice kind of coming out of the notes right there. So now that we have this, using your immersion blender, now you could use a food processor. Really, you could use anything. But for me, and you can see how we start to develop this like pulp consistency. So then now, this is when I add in olive oil, just kind of by the splashful. And again, you're trying to think how creamy, how thick, how much do you really, what type of dressing do you want to really make, right? And what you can see here is it's still a little thick. So I'm going to keep adding a little bit more of this oil. And you can see sunflower seed, turmeric. And it's got like a nice tangy feel to it with a little bit of, grit from the sunflower seeds. So something that I really recommend, and again, you could sit there and play around with this until you get it to the consistency that you like. And this should get you a good, a week's worth of dressing, right? So when we think of And that's pretty much where I like it, like this, you know. See, it's still got a little, it's still a little viscous, it's still a little thick. That's the way I like it over here. So I'm gonna stop that. And again, this is like a really good. Damn, we're on to something. And so you get that tanginess from, and if you want the recipe, again, just DM me, say, hey Nick, give me the damn recipe. I'll send it over to you. But other than that, let's check. We got 6 more minutes left for our muffins, our cashew. Now, how's everybody doing? Now, would you try this? A sunflower seed dressing. Is this something that you would actually try? Is it something that doesn't too bad? But what would I actually make that on? Or what would you put that on? And this is where I blow your mind. This actually would be great on a hot salad. So when I say hot salad, I mean warm salad. So essentially what I like to do with this is in the wintertime or the fall time, use like roasted beets and roasted potatoes. Does it taste like mustard? No, there's no mustard in here, right? That's the turmeric and the sunflower seeds. So there is no mustard in there. And that's a lot of the thing, right? When we talk about the tang, right? So like if you were here earlier when I said you can make your salad dressing most of the time by yourself. All it needs is an acid, a fruit, or some sort of lime or lemon. But essentially, that's what we did right here, right? There's nothing in here per se other than the white wine vinaigrette. And that's where you get a lot of that tang from, is the white wine vinaigrette. So it's that, and a lot of times you get the tang from Dijon, right? So most of the other ones, like the other things I was gonna make have Dijon into it. So something to consider. Very good sauce, because when it comes together, you can actually, it just, I don't know, one of my favorite tastes. It's just like a weird taste when you think of turmeric, sunflower seeds, grounded up, giving you like a little bit of a thickness, almost like of a creamy taste, but not as a more of a mayo type of feel to it, right? Because that thickness and that viscosity is coming straight from the sunflower seeds. So something to think of, something to consider. Oh, the cat hit the jackpot. It is time for her dinner. So let's put this away. So I am going to put this into my little dressing container, my little... And again, right, I like this a little thicker because I like to toss it into the salad. So, and again, yeah, if you really, in Laudry, if you want, just DM me, make sure you message me, and I'll send you over the recipe, right? It's, if you have your pencil or something down right now, I got it in front of me, yeah, you could just go from there. But yeah, by all means, holler at me. I'll send it over to you. Something really simple, something really good, something different, right? I think when we're trying to eat salads, or maybe you're trying to get a little bit healthier, or especially towards the end of the summer, we always think like, oh, okay, we got to have, I want to eat salad, but then we douse it in ranch, or maybe it's balsamic, or maybe it's something. Now, don't get me wrong. This salad dressing is going to be a little bit higher in calories, but again, being that we're not using a lot of it, because there is sunflower seeds in there, I should probably measure out and see. That's one thing I've actually never done when I was making this recipe, was measure out the calories. But I was always going by taste, and so you would think that there's mustard in there, but there is no mustard in there at all. That is our dressing, right? And you think, wow, it's a kind of a thick dressing, but of course it is. That's why we have it. But I'm gonna stick this in the fridge, and we will have that for our salad later. So let me check and let me show you are roasted cashews. Oh, look at that. Nick, they're burnt. That's perfect. Because you got to forget, or don't forget, is that we have, these are chili powder, chili infused roasted cashews. Maybe a couple of them got a little darker than I maybe wanted them to, but this is perfect. Now these are going to go right for our salad. Now you might be thinking, Nick, why would I want to eat some of those? Now you got to make sure that these cool down. Make sure that those cool down before you actually get to them. But actually, let me try it. Yeah, we'll take those. But that is going to go onto my salad. Damn, these are hot. They're hot, but holy hell. Wow. Those are the roasted cashews. So, making sure that you at least spin them. That's making me hungry. And now we're going to go ahead and make our salad. So, by all means, I don't want to sit here and keep you going. We have our salad, we got our dressing, we got our roasted cashews, and we're ready to rock and roll. So now I got to make some damn food. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this. And if you want the recipes to any of these things, just holler at me. Let me know. Here, hot or spicy? Hot. Hot as in like just out the oven hot. GG. But it's got a little tang to it. Nothing like on the back end, right? And I think that's going to go really good with the dressing we just made. So, not the heat. But other than that, by all means, I'll put this, actually, just to save you guys a little bit of effort, I'll put the recipes on my stories so that you can screenshot that and save it for later. So how about we do that? So other than that, I thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you on YouTube. Thank you on Instagram.